Okay, so we are talking about 10 powerful habits for a better relationship. And number one of the really important habits that we should all really work on is effective communication, which learning to be open and honest in conversations absolutely builds trust. Even when somebody is telling you something that you do not necessarily want to hear, there is a part of us that's like, damn, they're right though. Or wow, that was really honest. I don't know if I could have said that. So that helps us to build trust. Even when we don't like what we're hearing, sometimes we need to hear it and not take it personally. Okay. So open and honest communication, conversations is vital to a really good relationship, and learning to actively listen and express yourself clearly will definitely give you a deeper connection in your relationship. All right. So the second thing is spending quality time together. And a lot of people skip out on this. And I know even in my relationship, sometimes I'm guilty of saying like, oh no, I want to work. Like I love working. My husband loves working. So it's sometimes we don't, pause. We used to play golf every weekend or go dirt bike riding every weekend. There were a lot of things that we used to do, and as our kids got older we just worked more. So it's very important to take that pause and have actual meaningful time together. If you're not having that meaningful time, you don't want to end up in a situation of where you're in a roommate type relationship, right? We want it to continue to be loving and to be deep. It does not transactional. Like who wants a transactional relationship, right? We want something that feels good, something that lights us up, that gives us butterflies, that you get to feel passion. So spend meaningful time together, and that means staying away from distractions. Put your phone down and go do something else where it's the two of you. Go swim together, go kayak together, go for a walk together. Just go be silly and ridiculous and have fun together, just the two of you. All right. So, number three is acts of kindness. Small gestures of love will go a long way. Okay. It can be anything. You can leave a note, you can surprise your partner with something that they really love. Doing those small acts, that kind of helps to keep the romance alive. And it could be something as simple as, you order their favorite dinner, or you get them something that they like when they feel down, or you surprise them wearing something cute when they come home from work, or guys, for you it could be anything. You can bring home a single flower. You can and let her know, like, out of all the roses, I chose this one. Out of all the women, I chose you. Like anything, just something kind of romantic, because that helps to build that connection. All right. So those little loving acts of kindness, put gas in the car randomly and let them, get in the car and say, oh crap, I thought I had no gas. So now all of a sudden I have a full tank. Like those things are really important. Wash the car. There's so many things that you can do. Just think about it. Little acts of love and kindness go a long way. Number four is mutual respect. So show genuine respect to each other's opinions, feelings, boundaries. And that helps to create a sense of equality in the relationship. You might not always agree with your partner's opinions or thoughts or feelings, but you know what? Respect them, because as much as you're together, my husband and I, we've been together on this planet a lot longer than we have not been on this planet together. Okay. That doesn't mean I know every single thing. That doesn't mean that I know every single thought. Right. And his experience prior to us being together is still his life experience. His childhood is still his. My childhood is still mine. We are not always going to agree on everything, but I can still respect where he is coming from. And you can do the same thing. You don't have to completely understand it. You don't have to be able to feel what the other person is feeling to respect them, to respect their opinions, to respect their thoughts, and to give them some grace when you're having a conversation. All right. So that's very important, to feel equal in a relationship. We don't want to bash each other and, tear each other down. And that's like one of the big problems I see is an argument will start and it's like you're at war with the person. It just doesn't make sense. Like, this person that you're supposedly in love with, that you loved enough to get married to, has now become the biggest enemy and the biggest threat. And if we really look at that, it's probably because you became vulnerable with that person. You trusted them enough to tell them all of the things about you. When you do that, as the other person, do not use that stuff against your partner. Like, don't do that. When you use somebody's vulnerable feelings and secrets and emotions against them, that's the ultimate betrayal, right? So as much as you want to, because you feel like, oh, we're at war and we're in a battle, so I need to tear you down so that you hurt as much as I hurt, we should never be in competition to make somebody hurt as badly as we're hurting. Instead, what we could do is say, you know what, that was really messed up and I'm really feeling something right now, and I can't talk to you because this isn't going to go good. And you need to learn how to walk away from it. Don't try to blow each other up. Just don't don't do that. That piece of information that could turn into a whole freaking 30-minute course, because it's so common. And I know you're sitting there like, damn, I do that. Yeah, I know, because I did it too for a little while. You're not in a battle. This is actually your combat partner, not the enemy. So yeah, figure it out. Don't try to hurt each other like that. Don't use somebody's past or sensitive, vulnerable information against them. That's horrible. All right. So number 5, emotional support. Be a pillar of strength during tough times. All right. Be understanding, show empathy, and just give your partner a safe space so that they can share emotions. Those same emotions that I was just telling you that you don't want to use against your partner when you're having a disagreement. Okay. So just be an emotional support. Let your home feel comfortable. Let it feel safe. Let it be the place where the two of you can actually get out all of those things and talk about it. Don't beat them down. Don't beat her down. Like, be supportive, be emotionally supportive. And that means just showing up, listening, caring, and not using it against them later. All right. So, shared goals is another thing. This is a great habit, actually. So, working together towards common goals can actually give you more of a sense of unity. So, like I was just saying, like, this person, your partner, that's like your combat partner. Like, you two should not be at war with each other. So, when you share goals together and you're like, yeah, let's do this, or yes, let's do that, or let's work towards, or maybe we should, and you come up with these goals, as you're working together towards those goals, it bonds you even more. It makes you stronger, and it makes the relationship more flexible in the way of understanding and recognizing when somebody might be falling short and helping lift them up and then working together again. So those goals definitely can give you a good sense of connection. All right. With that okay. So with that sense of connection, personal space, right? This is number 7. This is a really good habit to have. And a lot of times people become so enmeshed with each other that they literally feel like they're one, like we are one thing, we are one unit. You are still two completely separate individuals, and personal space is very, very important. And we really need to recognize the importance of it, right? The individuality that we each have. Like I was saying before, it doesn't matter how long you've been together or the little bit of time that you've been together. We all come with our own past. We all have our own thoughts. We all experience the world differently. So the two of you can be in a situation together, experience the same thing, but the impact of that thing, it might affect each of you differently based on your personal experiences, right? So as much as we are one unit, and like my husband and I, when we got married, we did the unity candle, right? Two flames coming together as one, but we were still two individuals before that flame became one. And just because we're one does not mean that we no longer need personal space. We all need some personal space to express ourselves, to work on our hobbies, to find out, do you even have a hobby? Like, is there anything that you love? Is there anything that you want to do that's just for you? And if there is, but you're feeling guilty about doing it, that this is your sign. Okay, this is your sign. It's time to pause and reflect on your relationship and maybe look and see, like, is there some codependency there? Is there some enmeshment? How are you when you think that maybe does it mean that the relationship is over if you have two totally different interests? And you know maybe somebody wants to go play golf on Saturday and the other person is like, oh my gosh, no, you can't do that because I thought we were going to bake cookies together. And your partner might be like, I have no freaking interest in baking cookies, and you really have no interest in playing golf, but you want to go just because you need to be there to monitor, right? So kind of check yourself about the personal space. Are you not allowing it because you're trying to be controlling? Do you have any kind of belief that if we don't do all these things together, then that must mean that we're not together, that the person is growing apart? Because that's not true. The more individuality we have, the easier it is for us to connect, because then we know who we are and we know that we want to be in this, and we're not in this because we feel like we need to control it because we don't want to be alone. So sometimes we will do things to avoid loneliness and or being single or getting divorced or breaking up or whatever. So in that period of trying to avoid, we compromise ourselves, we lose ourselves. It's not healthy. All right. So number 8, intimacy and affection. Regular and regular physical affection, including cuddling, hugging, kissing, helps to maintain a strong emotional connection. So do that, even if it's, after dinner, a kiss goodnight, I love you, whatever it is. Hang out, cuddle, hold hands, do some. I have to tell you, when I first went on Instagram, which I took the pictures off because they weren't relevant anymore, but now they are. I should have left them. Anyway, my most popular pictures were every weekend, my husband and I would go do something, and I would take pictures of us holding hands, not of our faces or our bodies, just holding hands. I got more likes, views, and comments on those than I did anything else. So obviously it's connecting, right? And that's what we want to do. Just touch, like, let that energy flow out of your body, let that connection be together. Okay, number 9, forgiveness and compromise. Practicing forgiveness and finding the middle ground during conflicts, and understanding that disagreements are a natural part of a relationship, is an extremely valuable habit to develop. If you can get in the habit of knowing that it's okay to have disagreements, that all couples have disagreements, and that you're two separate individuals who are trying to work together and have a life together and establish whatever it is together, a family, a business, whatever it is, being able to recognize that disagreements are just part of the process, That's what it is. And sometimes it could be really difficult because, you know, a lot of times we pick partners that resemble the love that we received as kids. And then we really have to be able to transform ourselves. And not only you, right? If you can transform yourself and if you are working to transform yourself, then your partner can do the same thing, right? And if they choose to, sometimes they don't. So understanding that there is a middle ground in there and that you're both coming at this from two separate perspectives. Like I said earlier, even if you have experienced something together, you might remember it differently or you might have experienced it differently, and that's okay. Just don't weaponize your experiences together. Don't do that because it's not helpful. And try to just remember you're two individual people and conflict is going to be part of the process. All right. And finally, our last habit to build for a powerful and strong relationship is continuous growth and support. It is very important to be in the habit of not tearing your partner down. And it's very easy. I made another video earlier. I was talking about resentment. All right. So I'm just going to touch on it right here because this continuous growth, if you are not communicating effectively with your partner and you're talking to everybody else about what your partner is doing, then you're going to start building this list of things that you resent about your partner. Okay. And if you have tried to communicate with your partner and they're just not listening, you're not connecting, they're not understanding, and this resentment is getting deeper and deeper, once that resentment hits a certain point, it's kind of done deal. That's when that's when you will start to check out. So, and once you're checked out, it's a little difficult to check back in and say, yeah, I want to continue to do this, especially when you feel that the love, the respect, the support, and the desire to help you grow as a person, when that is gone, it's gone. And yeah, so it could be very difficult to get that back. So we want to make sure we are in the habit of continuously supporting the growth of our partner, regardless of which direction they're growing in, right? Sometimes that means supporting them and supporting yourself as you're separating, but we're talking about staying together in this video right here. So anyway, it's very important because it does help, like I said before, that combat partner. When you know that you're in it together and you can trust that your partner is always looking out for your best interest and is not talking about you maliciously to other people, and your partner is communicating things with you, and you are trying to work together, and you are spending time together, and you are doing these little acts of kindness or acts of love for each other, as you're doing all of those things and you're supporting your partner's growth, you've got magic. You've got magic. All right. So these are your 10 habits to try to work on and develop so that you can have a stronger, lasting relationship. I'll tell you what, we are going on 28 years, no, 29 years. Sorry. We're going on 29 years together. And these are a lot of the things that we had to do. All right. The most important was not weaponizing the other person's past or weaponizing their periods of vulnerability and using it against each other. It's very important learning how to communicate effectively with each other and understand that there is always a middle ground and that we are two individual people who have two individual experiences and past, right? And then the continuous support and the continuous growth together and individually. So there you have it.